Have you ever wondered how some people can speak and command a room with nothing but their words? What makes them able to influence not just a group, but entire movements, cultures, and systems? Today, we're going to break down the psychology and techniques behind articulating your thoughts to influence anyone, using some of the most powerful communicators of our time, Andrew Tate and Jordan Peterson. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. If you're looking to take control of how you communicate, how you articulate your thoughts, and how you influence people, you're in the right place. We're going to dive deep into the minds of some of today's most influential figures, Andrew Tate and Jordan Peterson, and break down exactly how they do it. And spoiler alert, it's not just about speaking well. It's about understanding psychology, using certain mental tricks, and mastering the art of persuasion. So grab your notebook because you'll want to take notes. Let's get started. First off, let's talk about confidence. If there's one thing both Andrew Tate and Jordan Peterson exude in spades, it's confidence. And not just any confidence, but the kind that grabs attention and makes people listen. Let's break down why this works so well. Confidence isn't just a personality trait, it's a signal. When you speak confidently, you immediately signal to your audience that you know what you're talking about. This triggers something known as the authority bias in psychology. This is a cognitive bias where people tend to believe and follow someone simply because they appear to be an authority on a subject. Take Andrew Tate, for example. He's unapologetic in his delivery, and his tone is firm, almost daring you to challenge him. This confidence makes his audience assume that his opinions are worth listening to. Why? Because he carries himself like someone who knows more, has experienced more, and has achieved more. Now you might be wondering, how can you build this kind of confidence? It all comes down to preparation and belief in what you're saying. Andrew Tate doesn't just make bold statements for the sake of shock value. He's lived the lifestyle he talks about. His confidence comes from real-world experience. On the flip side, Jordan Peterson has a very different approach, but his confidence is no less commanding. He doesn't raise his voice or throw around insults. Instead, he uses calm, methodical speech, almost like a professor explaining deep truths to his students. The confidence comes from the certainty in his tone and the depth of his knowledge. Peterson uses what psychologists call cognitive fluency, the idea that the more clearly and logically you speak, the more your audience trusts you. The clarity in Peterson's voice gives you the impression that he's in control, and that makes people want to listen. Now let's talk about something both Andrew Tate and Jordan Peterson master: framing. How you frame your ideas, the words you choose, the metaphors you use, and the way you present your argument affects how your audience perceives it. Peterson is an expert in using language that taps into deep psychological principles. He often uses stories, archetypes, and metaphorical language to frame his ideas. He's not just explaining a concept, he's making it relatable on an emotional and psychological level. Take Peterson's famous clean your room analogy. It's a simple piece of advice, but the way he frames it makes it stick. By presenting it as a first step toward personal responsibility and order, he taps into universal desires for control, success, and meaning. Tate uses similar techniques, but with more intensity. He frames his arguments in a way that challenges your current worldview. He makes people question their assumptions about masculinity, success, and society, often forcing them to confront uncomfortable truths. This is known as disruptive framing. When Tate tells his audience to wake up or calls out the blue pill versus red pill mentality, he's framing the conversation in a way that forces his audience to take sides. This taps into the psychological principle of social proof. People want to belong to a group that shares their beliefs. By framing the conversation as a fight between opposing forces, Tate creates a tribe, and people are drawn to the certainty and clarity of his language. Now let's talk about how to handle objections. One thing both Tate and Peterson are incredibly skilled at is handling pushback. In fact, they almost seem to welcome it. Why does this work so well? Because it taps into the principle of reciprocity. When you push back against an objection in a calm, calculated way, it makes you seem not only confident, but also more trustworthy. In this video, we explore how to articulate your thoughts and influence others by breaking down the techniques used by powerful communicators like Andrew Tate and Jordan Peterson. The key to their influence lies in mastering confidence, language, and psychological principles. First, confidence is crucial for commanding attention. Both Tate and Peterson project authority, with Tate's bold, direct style and Peterson's calm, methodical approach. Confidence signals expertise, which taps into the psychological authority bias, making audiences more likely to trust and follow them. Next, we dive into framing. Both figures excel at using language that shapes the listener's perception. Peterson uses stories and metaphors to make complex ideas relatable, while Tate employs disruptive framing, forcing listeners to challenge their current beliefs. This taps into the social proof principle, making people want to join a certain group or worldview. The video also highlights persuasion. Handling objections is key, whether through Peterson's intellectual judo or Tate's confrontational style. Both men stay in control of the conversation, which helps build trust and influence. Storytelling is another crucial tool. They connect emotionally with their audiences by sharing personal narratives, which helps listeners relate and see themselves in the speaker's journey. Lastly, we discuss emotional connection. By triggering strong emotions, both Tate and Peterson create lasting impact and engagement. The ability to connect on an emotional level is essential to influencing and inspiring others. By mastering these techniques, you can elevate your communication and influence those around you. Peterson is great at de-escalating a situation. If someone challenges him, he doesn't raise his voice or get defensive. Instead, he listens carefully and then responds thoughtfully, almost always with a counterpoint that makes the other person's position seem weak. This is an art form called intellectual judo. Andrew Tate, on the other hand, uses a more confrontational style. He'll often counter insults with even bolder statements, challenging his critics to keep up. This plays into the psychology of dominance hierarchies. When you show you're at the top of the social hierarchy, people are more likely to submit to your ideas. Both styles are effective, but the key here is to stay calm, stay logical, and most importantly, stay in control of the conversation. Another crucial element of influence is storytelling. People are wired for stories. Our brains crave narrative because it's how we make sense of the world. Andrew Tate and Jordan Peterson both use powerful personal narratives to draw people in. Take Tate's story of rising from humble beginnings to become a world champion kickboxer and millionaire. He doesn't just tell you a story, he uses it to show you that you can do the same thing. He frames it in a way that turns his personal journey into a blueprint for his audience's success. Peterson does something similar, though his stories are more focused on personal transformation and the struggle to find meaning in life. He often uses his own experiences to explain his psychological theories, which makes his complex ideas accessible to a broader audience. Both men understand that stories don't just communicate information, they shape the way people see themselves in the world. Finally, let's talk about emotional connections. To influence others, you need to connect with them on an emotional level. You need to make them feel something, whether it's anger, joy, or a sense of purpose. Tate often uses emotional appeals to trigger strong responses in his audience. He's not afraid to provoke, challenge, and even upset people, because he knows it gets a reaction, and reactions equal engagement. Whether it's anger or agreement, both keep people coming back for more. Peterson, while less abrasive, also uses emotion strategically. His language often appeals to deep fears about life, about meaning, suffering, and personal responsibility. He connects with people by showing them that their struggles are shared, universal, and can be overcome. So the lesson here is simple. Emotions drive action. If you want to influence people, you need to connect with their emotions. Make them feel understood, make them feel heard, and make them feel inspired. So there you have it. Whether you're looking to be more confident, more persuasive, or just more influential in your communication, you can learn a lot from figures like Andrew Tate and Jordan Peterson. It's not just about what you say, it's about how you say it, why you say it, and how you make people feel when they hear it. Remember, the art of influence isn't something you're born with. It's something you can practice, learn, and master over time. So get out there, start speaking with confidence, and begin shaping the world around you. If you like this video, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more content on how to level up your communication skills. And as always, stay sharp until next time.